$44.97 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
On the farm from dawn till dusk, hardworking hands tend to the land, equipment, and the animals. But your hard work deserves a little relaxation too. Visit the Nebraska Ag Expo, December 10th through the 12th at Sand Hills Global Event Center in Lincoln. See all the latest ag innovations in livestock and equipment, precision ag, drone, and AI tech, crop inputs, grain storage, and more. Take a break from the daily grind and recharge at the Nebraska Ag Expo. You deserve it. Sponsored in part by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com. The Huskers are headed to the Pinstripe Bowl. Cheer on the Huskers in New York City on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour offered by the Nebraska Alumni Association. Your bowl package includes a 2-night hotel stay, round-trip transportation on game day, pregame events, and more. Spots are limited, so book your spot now on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour with the Nebraska Alumni Association. Go to huskerfantravel.com or call 888-831-0858. That's 888-831-0858 or huskerfantravel.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Early break.
He brings him in and teaches him how to be Santa Claus.
So what do you do if like a 16-year-old wants to sit on the lap? What do you do? There's a protocol.
What do we do? How do we handle it? Not
you
so
stand.
fast.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I'm going to stand up next to you.
Clause, but not approved. Right.
Bunch of college girls.
Right. No. It becomes no.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist. This time he beats the kicker and one more. DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome into the Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, you guys can join in. We're going to be talking some Husker football here. We got some somewhat breaking news, at least breaking news within these last few hours here. We'll give you updates on that involving the Husker football program. We'll also dive into the college football playoffs. Not necessarily the teams are in it, which teams maybe should have got put in, which teams got left out, but are we already kind of seeing in year one of this college football playoff bracket that, yes, 12 teams might be more exciting, but is it really necessary and is it maybe too much? And then, of course, if we got time for it, we'll touch in to the NFL to wrap things up in the power rankings and where we see the Chiefs, Eagles, Lions, where those guys sit, who's really number one in the NFL right now. What's the consensus? But let's go ahead and bring him in. The host, as always, DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. DPE, how's it going on a Tuesday night?
Going real good, a day closer to game day.
Yeah, and we got quite a few days till we get to game day here for Husker football. Again, they got Boston College for the Pinstripe Bowl. They'll also have, at one point in time, was their interim defensive coordinator. Now, as the official title, he is the defensive coordinator. John Butler gets the promotion. He was the defensive pass game coordinator, secondary coach. John Butler was for this Husker football program already. once Tony White did take the leave to Florida State, he got promoted to interim, but it was just that interim title. And then Matt Rule did make it official that he is going to be the next defensive coordinator for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So again, he was already going to be the interim for that Boston College game, but now he's officially just the DC, take the interim tag off. DeMornay, give me your thoughts on that. John Butler getting the gig for the defensive coordinator. And it is important to note, Rule said he wants to maintain the 3-3-5. Now, wants not, they are absolutely going to, but it seems like that 3-3-5 is still going to be around with John Butler. He's familiar with it, so probably going to stay there.
It's good because he's already familiar with the kids in the program, so that's not change on them. No, that's not making them nervous about proving themselves again to a different coach or being in that situation. He kind of knows and seen what everybody can do, so he knows who can play where, who can play multiple positions, and everything like that. Keeping it in house. Having a lot of familiarity with the kids having, familiarity with him. I'm excited to see what changes he does have, and I don't know, if he'll call it exactly the same names and everything like that, but he's an NFL caliber coach. He left the NFL team to be here. Not a lot of places, have that. So for him to have that and to be in a place where he was at, with Buffalo, Buffalo's defense is typically, a top 5 defense year in and year out. So it'd be interesting to see what his mix in and what, his ingredients are to add to the defense. And, hopefully they maintain or, exceed what things were while, Tony White was here. But I mean, I'm excited. I think it's a good hire, and I'm wishing him, the best with his upcoming bowl game and next year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a good hire. Mainly because this defense was working more often than not. You had 2 years of what looked like a pretty solid defense. So to me, like, the answer probably is within your doors. Like, I understand you're losing Tony White, but you have guys in the room that were under Tony White's teaching and under his system that were picking up things from Tony White. So to me, it's, if you tried to get an outside guy to come in there and mimic the 3-3-5 and try to pick up where Tony White left off, I think you'd have a lot harder time trying to succeed. And if Rule really wants to keep the 3-3-5, then it makes sense. Let's get a guy that's already used to it, that knows the terminology, that's been working with Tony White, so we can just keep rolling and keep working on what this defense needs to do. Because he's at a point where, very much like Tony White, I think you've been with the defense that long, you kind of know where the weaknesses are and which areas you need to prove in heading into this offseason, heading into this Boston College game. So to me, it just makes sense. If you want to stay on track with what the defensive philosophy is, then you hire in-house with the guys that are used to the philosophy that's been starting to get taught there. So I'm good with it. John Butler, the new DC, Dana Holgorsen, the new offensive coordinator. Some other news out there. Again, this stuff isn't necessarily official, but pretty close to it. Nebraska also set to hire Kansas City Chiefs assistant Terry Braden as defensive line coach, replacing Terrence Knighton. So we get Braden as Terry Braden, the KC assistant, for that defensive line coach spot. So you plug that one as well. And then also news from that role is set to name Phil Snow as the team's associate head coach, sources told Thamel. So thoughts on that? A couple more names for you. You got Phil Snow, and then you got Terry Braden of the Kansas City Chiefs assistant. Any thoughts on those names? I'll be honest, with Terry Braden, I had to do some research. Wasn't super familiar with it. Doesn't seem like a terrible move, though. What are your thoughts?
No, I'm cool with it. I don't think it's a bad hire. I had to do a little bit of research myself. Well known, well respected, and Rule is a person who does things for a reason. So if he clearly is bringing in people and whatnot, typically they benefit. They add to the program more so than take away. And I know he's missed with some things, but he's been on track with hires and everything like that. So that's just the topping. That's the sprinkles on top and everything like that. Welcome to Big Red Nation.
Yeah, and what gives me hope here is I'm seeing Kansas City Chiefs fan base kind of be a little bit alarmed. Like they're not freaking out or anything, but it is a bit of a surprise that this news is coming out. So again, this is about from 2 hours ago, and why I think it's a little bit of a shock is, he's been there for 8 years. He's going on his 8th season with the Kansas City Chiefs, so he is very familiar with the area, and he's been that assistant defensive line coach for, I want to say, 4 years now with the Chiefs. So he's been with them for a long time. And then he gets must have been a surprise call from Nebraska, and lucrative enough for him to go ahead and want to take the reins as the official defensive line coach and not just the assistant defensive line coach. So I'm intrigued by it a lot. You get a guy, again, there's so much NFL and resume on a lot of these coaches. Between now you're adding Terry Brandon. We already know with Dana. We just talked about some of the other guys that we're adding here, and Nebraska is getting a knack for just a lot of these guys that have this NFL experience. And I got to say, I think that's got to help more in today's era, just by the fact that you're getting more of a pro look. You got the roster limit. Now you got NIL. And on top of that, with that roster limit especially, like, you really got to pick wisely on how many guys you're recruiting from each class and how many guys in each position. So all of this is becoming feels like essentially an amateur pro league. And to get a bunch of pro-minded guys in there, I don't think it's going to hurt too bad. Thoughts, though, on Terry Brandon? I think he's probably the most interesting because that is a long time with the Kansas City Chiefs. What kind of expertise does that add?
He might, wanted a different challenge or something new or more for himself or whatnot. He's been in a place where, they've won at the high level. How many Super Bowl rings does he have? How many Pro Bowlers has he produced off that line? How many, guys have gotten paid off of that line and everything like that? So he understands what it takes to build, up a player technical wise and everything like that. Secondly, Spagnolia has been, he's had a top 3 defense, for a period of time or, around the league and everything like that. So you pair, a guy with a background from the Bills with DC, and then, a guy that, has been under Spagnolia, and what the Chiefs defense have done and everything like that, and his expertise that he can bring to the table to kind of mix things up. And he's had Chris Jones and some of those other great, Frank Clark and some of those guys that were outside linebackers that, started off, the Chiefs run and everything like that. So for him, it might have just been he wanted a new challenge. I'm glad he came because he has seen a lot. You've been with Andy Reid under that coaching tree, and just the things that you can bring to the table outside of the defense perspective. Just a leader, and again, a different set of eyes, a different voice, that the kids can go to, or a different example that can be shown to people. I think that's a valuable piece that a lot of people overlook, especially with, kids growing up wanting to pursue the NFL and things transitioning more like a business at the collegiate level. You're putting in place people that, know how to deal with people with money, you know what I'm saying, who can shape, these kids to make sure that they're not, off track or in shape, or doing what they're supposed to be, that can kind of reach them because they've been doing it for so long. The Chiefs haven't had anything crazy, coming out of their camp with guys and everything like that. So again, I think it's an out of the park hire because the experience that this coach can offer, not only to the kids in this position on the field in the D-line position, but holistically, shaping kids off the field as well.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% there. I'm intrigued by this. I think with the guys we're bringing in here, and we'll talk about Phil Snow here as well, but especially with Terry Brandon, I just like getting a guy who's been with the Chiefs that long. Like, Chiefs, whatever they're doing, it's working. So to get a guy like that, a guy who's, I think it's fair to say the Chiefs are one of the best run pro teams in the NFL. Like, you can argue with me whether you don't like him or not, but clearly with Andy Reid as the head coach, with Mahomes as the quarterback, with all the way to ownership at the very top, like top to bottom. It's just a very well run, efficient program. Getting guys out of that tree isn't going to hurt. And again, it's not like this is really his first gig. Yeah, first time being the official defensive line coach, but he was 4 years as the assistant defensive line coach. Now he'll get the official spot. Let's talk about Phil Snow here. Phil Snow, last time really heard about him with the Carolina Panthers with Matt Rule before he was let go. And again, one of those additions, he's going to be the associate head coach for this Husker football program. So Phil Snow, associate head coach. He served as the defensive coordinator for Rule with the Panthers, and Baylor and Temple as well. He was also with Rule at those stops. So again, you get another guy who Rule has been pretty consistent on dipping into the pocket of guys he's worked with and has worked in the past. Thoughts on Phil Snow continuing his work with Matt Rule?
It's chemistry and history. I mean, you know, he was there for the rebuild with Baylor and everything like that, and he played pivotal roles. He's Rule's guy. So again, another set of fresh eyes, and I don't want to sound repetitive over the same thing and whatnot, but another set of fresh eyes who has been through the process, know what it looks like, knows what Rules expect, and everything like that, can walk in there day one, and some of the things that Rule doesn't necessarily have to address, he can be the one to knock the things out and do and everything like that to make the ship run smoother. So I mean, it's experience. People like having familiarity with people and being comfortable. Again, I mean, he's stacking. He's bringing in assets for the kids to make everything overall better. So, like I said, I'm with it.
Yeah, and I'll ask you this. I think this is what's kind of getting left. I shouldn't say getting left in the dust. This has been like 3 hours since this news really came out. What I think people are going to pick up on that isn't even really reading that hard into it, but I think it is very important, and it's a great move by Matt Rule to let's get ahead and get this stuff figured out now, because you got a lot of practices left before you're up in New York playing for a bowl game. And now, at least heading into that bowl game, you have your offensive coordinator, you have your defensive coordinator, you're likely set. Now you got your defensive line coach, and now you're adding Phil Snow as well as associate head coach. You still got Satterfield in the mix as well, but how important is it that they got all of this sorted out before they even get to New York, so that way they can have these practices and already have the guys there that are going to lead this program, not just for this bowl game, but for the upcoming season?
It's something that the kids can keep away from distracting themselves. Keep out of sight, out of mind type situation and whatnot. So when you have that going on, now the bigger things that you have to worry about, or the kids are worried about, is taken care of. People may be uncertain with the transfer portal, and I don't know, this is coming in and whatnot.
Yeah,
you got people in place to knock that out. Now the questions are answered, and now they can kind of build. You got these practices and these other periods of time of being together, to where the kids can get used to, understand them, get to know each other. And that's what I said. It was huge for the defensive coordinator, because the kids know him. They don't have to start all over. The kids have a familiar, guy that they can run to, okay, well, he's saying it's cool. I'm going to give it a chance. We trust you, coach. You expect the things, you know what the caliber was around here and everything like that. And we can continue, to set that standard and go above and beyond. So, I mean, you take the nervousness and the overthinking and the outside noise out of what it is. You got the people there. Now it's just time for, everybody to get used to and familiar with everybody, and then, everybody get on one page.
That's a good point. I didn't even think to put that part together with it. I'm thinking, just for the sake of, you get these practices that Nebraska has just desperately needed for so long. I don't think it kills you if you go a year without bowling and you miss those practices. But when you go year after year, all the way back to 2016, and you're missing all those extra weeks of practice when everybody else across the country continues to develop their program within that time window, I think it does gradually set you back. So it's good for Nebraska to get that. But again, you get these guys that I wasn't even thinking the portal. Like you clear that out right away. You don't have to worry about guys simply hitting the portal. I was on the aspect of just how much it'll help the program in terms of getting guys comfortable with the system. But you're right. And then it also deters guys from maybe wanting to hit the portal. You got getting rid of that uncertainty certainly helps. And we're in an era with college football where you can't even blame guys, especially in a year where it's crucial. I mean, we're getting down to 105 roster limit come the 2025-26 academic year. And if there's uncertainty about where you're at on that roster and you don't know who the coaches are going to be, that's not a good feeling for players, I can imagine, knowing that there's going to be a ton of guys that are going to have to be let go to get within that 105. And it could be you're a great player, but they need X amount of tight ends and you're tight end number 6. So you don't make the cut. So I think it's a big deal to get this all sorted out right away. I am intrigued by Phil Snow. DeMornay, when you get a guy like Phil Snow as quote unquote associate head coach, what does that mean? Like to the guys, what is the associate head coach?
He's for the Game of Thrones fans out there. He's kind of the hand of the king type situation. Not exactly, he doesn't run the show and make things happen, but he makes, the job easier. He handles situations and everything like that. He's a person that, can kind of delegate things before it gets to Rule. He's a person that probably Rule will turn to talk to about things. So it's a collaborative effort on those two, to figure out exactly where to go and what not to go. With Rule, hiring him and the success they have, he might not be a yes man. And I'm not saying that other people have been or anything like that, but Rule might, be over and beyond and going X, Y, and Z, or so tuned in and seeing it from this end. He might, point something out that might change the trajectory of how he sees something or how he thinks about going a certain way. So that's what that type of role can be and is and whatnot.
Okay, that clears it up. I am just always kind of curious because I think it probably changes with every program what that title looks like. Just totally depending on what the coach and how much input they're going to have. But yeah, Phil Snow is the associate head coach spot. I feel okay with it simply for the fact that from Temple to Baylor to the Panthers, like they're familiar with each other. I don't think Rule would bring him along for the ride if he thought Phil Snow wasn't good enough for the job. I mean, hell, he brought him everywhere he's gone to this point. The one thing that's impressed me most about Rule, even though I know a lot of fans, you can tell me if you aren't disappointed, but I'd be surprised if you weren't. 402-464-5685. Even though we only won 6 games, I have been impressed by Rule's ability, not even just ability, but just his willingness to not be too prideful and make the changes. Like, doing what he did with Satterfield that late in the year was a pretty gutsy move because it had to work.
That's not an easy decision. That's not an easy decision. Like it can go one or two ways, with that situation. If you don't, make that move, Rule could be the one out the door, and then it don't matter about Satterfield because everybody gone.
Exactly.
So he has the right pose. Like I said, he's not one to shy away from. I don't want to say doing the right thing, but doing what's necessary.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. I mean, I think that's kind of the thing at Nebraska that it's going to take some real tinkering to get this culture all sorted out. There's just something about Nebraska where I think it's really hard to get that culture where it needs to be. You go to a place like Indiana, when there's nothing there to begin with, and there's no expectations, it's a lot easier to quick build it up and just to get some belief in the guys because the chip on the shoulder is there. The chip on the shoulder, it's built in within the program because nobody's respected Indiana the entire time. With Nebraska, it's just such a weird environment. You're a blue blood, but yet you've been this bad for how long? Everybody really wants to beat you, even though you haven't been that good. The fan base engagement goes up when you lose because they care that damn much about the football program, even if they haven't been that good. So I just think Nebraska, it's the culture and where it's at. You need a coach that's going to be willing to flip the way he sees the direction he needs to go. Because I just think it's been that tumultuous around here. And you need a coach that's going to be able to make some moves that are going to be a little more on the risky side. Even though the Satterfield one, I don't know how risky it was. I mean, that offense couldn't really get too much worse with Dana starting to call the plays. But good enough 2-game stretch there between Wisconsin, between Iowa to finish out the year. Even though the Iowa game, you only scored 10 points, the move for Dana certainly seems like the right one. Before we wrap up this segment here, DeMario, I'll ask you, between all the coaches that we know now, you got John Butler. You can even throw Shorts in there with the wide receiver coach. Dana Holgorsen, offensive coordinator. Now knowing that John Butler is your defensive coordinator. And, of course, you get Braden, 8 years with the Kansas City Chiefs, now going to be joining for the Huskers. Which one of these coaches, really intrigues you the most? The coach that can really help out Nebraska? And Phil Snow as well, associate head coach. Left him out.
I think it's Dana. Don't get me wrong. Everybody was scratching their head at Rule, making the change. And in 3 weeks, the offense looked completely different. I don't know if any of those other coaches that would have came in that, could have made that happen. So I think his ability to show how things can change with him and his direction and what he wants to do from the offensive side. And honestly, it took the offense to a different level. You can say what you want to say about the Iowa game. That was just missed opportunity on the kid not making plays. That wasn't Dana's fault. They had what they want and stuff was wide open or, stuff was missed. So I think that what he was able to do so quick, so fast, that dominating win against Wisconsin, even the last time we beat Wisconsin, it didn't even look like that.
No.
You know what I mean? So I think it has to be him. I don't think and we'll see what, the other coaches can do and everything like that with stuff calling their own and everything like that. But Dana literally got tossed in the fire and, he walked out of it like nothing, happened.
Yeah. And not, that Iowa game, the more you go look at that Iowa game, I still think it was a pretty good game by Dana Holgorsen. I get, you can look at it, and if you just go look at the drive series, you'll be like, man, you guys are punting a lot. I don't know about Dana calling a great game. When you're playing Iowa, that's what you do. You don't risk it. You just play conservative football. And it's, we talk about this ad nauseum, but I just think the air raid thing always kind of pisses me off because I think people hear that and they think of an offensive coordinator who's going to be incredibly aggressive, just constantly throwing the ball down the yard. No, he's smart enough that when you play Iowa, you take what's in front of you, knowing that Iowa is going to give you just that and nothing more. They're going to dare you to try to throw it into double coverage so they can get a pick. And, that's a big part of their offense is just playing field position and allowing turnovers to come to them. But what you saw with Dana was played a conservative game, but still take some shots. He did have the one with Harburg on a little trick play. It was actually there. It was in double coverage, but it was a hell of a throw by Harburg. But that game, the offense was getting yards. They were moving on first downs. They were doing what they needed to do to beat Iowa. Unfortunately, to your point, there was just some really key plays where the guys didn't execute. But it was there. The right play was called. We'll throw the break here. On the other side, we'll talk about some more Husker football here. Dylan Raiola, according to his social media, it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. I know that was not a real concern for some, but for a lot of people, it actually was. So we'll talk about that. Don't go anywhere. Don't punt hour. We got the morning Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, partly sunny and breezy. However, light snow showers possible this afternoon. We'll see a high around 42. Tonight, a chance of snow early, then partly cloudy and a low around 20. And tomorrow, we'll see sunny skies and an afternoon high around 30. And meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and the holiday sales event is now underway with unbelievably low interest rates and huge discounts on both our new and pre-owned inventory. Right now, we're offering 0% interest rates or $13,000 off select new models. These are the absolute biggest discounts of the year. You heard right, 0% interest rates or $13,000 off select new models. So please stop on in or check us out online at CoppellCars.com. All deals with a roof credit, must trade, and Costco.
Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote control cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3, get 1 free on smart wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy person in your life. Brown Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to look at their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
The Huskers are headed to the Pinstripe Bowl. Cheer on the Huskers in New York City on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour offered by the Nebraska Alumni Association. Your bowl package includes a 2-night hotel stay, round-trip transportation on game day, pregame events, and more. Spots are limited, so book your spot now on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour with the Nebraska Alumni Association. Go to huskerfantravel.com or call 888-831-0858. That's 888-831-0858 or huskerfantravel.com.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2025 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf, inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Second segment, Don't Punt Hour. Here's Stearns on the ones and twos as always. We got the host, DeMornay Pierson-El, now streaming in. Shout out Allo for bringing DeMornay in on the Allo VIP line for the first segment, but we got him locked in for the streams for segments 2 and 3. All right, keeping on along the lines here with some more Husker football. I'll get DPE's thoughts on it. I was a little bit surprised. There was a real concern for Dylan Raiola, for some fans out there, that he was going to transfer out after only winning 6 games in his first year. Nothing's official. You look at his social media, though, he seems pretty locked in for year 2 with the Huskers. Was there any point where that was a real concern that he might transfer out?
I think a little bit. I mean, there's always that the grass isn't greener, always on the opposing side. You got somebody out there who's willing to, that might come in with crazy amount of money. Not to say that he can, be bought or anything like that, but you never know, with situations. So
I always go, everyone's got a number, and you're lying to yourself if you don't.
Exactly. So, so was there a chance? Maybe at some point in time, but do I think that was a strong chance? No.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm along the same lines. Like, yes, there's the chance that somebody can offer him an outrageous amount of money and he might take it. But I didn't think him only winning 6 games was the reason. And I think some people had that in their head that he's going to be really upset that this is all he did this year. And I'm like, I think you wouldn't go to Nebraska if you're expecting to dominate and have the chance to play in the college football playoffs in year 1. Like he could have gone to Georgia or the other schools he was already looking at. If that's what he wanted to do, he wouldn't have picked Nebraska. Now, if your fear was someone's going to throw him a bunch of money, like, yeah, that's whether you like it or not. That's every year in college football. There's always that potential. But it was never high on my radar. I thought, if this year goes south, maybe I'll listen to it more, but certainly not after this year. And some other news. There's been a lot of weird news today. Bill Belichick potentially being the head coach for the
I thought he got hired.
So I'm hearing all sorts. I'm hearing fluid talks. So this one off of Dov Kleiman, he does tweet out like it's official, but looking at other places, I'm hearing talks are fluid.
I thought it was a done deal. I would have to recheck. But Bill, no, come on, Bill, like stop it. Stop that.
Ian Rappaport, just from an hour ago, the very latest on Bill Belichick and North Carolina is there's still talks continuing between them. So nothing's official, but they're still talking. And that was from just an hour ago.
Yeah, no, I don't got them. Yeah. Like I don't got Bill going down there.
If you're Bill Belichick,
why? That's a different like no.
I don't know if he'd fit the college system.
No.
Like at all. I don't think it fits Bill Belichick.
No, like you seen what it did to Saban?
Yeah.
Like no, like
you get the hell out of there.
Exactly. So I don't think that would be a good look. I don't think he would like it. I don't think kids would like him because kids are too soft. And Bill's a straight shooter. He's not going to beat around the bush or anything like that. He will run kids out of a program because they can't handle the truth.
Hey, he's hanging out with some people of that generation.
But Bill has been a strict, hard person for a lot of time. He might get wined and dined, go on the little dinner dates or whatever. I'm not coming here. I'm not calling y'all back. I'm not. No, come on now.
I just don't see it. It's just crazy. The jokes are funny from Bill Belichick.
Hilarious.
You can imagine where the jokes lean on, which part of his life, why he'd be going to UNC. But yeah, it cracks me up. I just do not see that being a good move for Bill Belichick at all. I could be wrong. He could knock it out of the park. But yeah, I just think of the way Saban handled the new era of college football, and he just hated it. He got out.
I think honestly, Saban is going to be a domino effect. Don't be surprised if you see some of these top-notch college coaches jump to the NFL because they don't want to deal with it. I wouldn't be surprised, and it might be some of the top dogs there right now.
Well, that's why if you're Jim Harbaugh, you killed it. You win your asterisk title. Get away from the allegations. Get away from NIL.
Nobody's even talking about it no more.
No, he just totally, and everyone also even talks about it.
They love him in the NFL. They're, oh my God.
They love him so much.
The Chargers are back. They're good again. Yeah, no.
Jim Harbaugh has killed it with his timing. I mean, truly just fantastic at getting the hell out of Dodge when it mattered most. Not only to avoid the allegations, but to go ahead and join a team that has a solid program over there. It's not like he's walking into a bad locker room. He had some guys. And yeah, whatever you think about Jim, I'll say that he is a good coach.
Yeah, that he is.
Or not, I don't know, but he knows how to coach, and it worked out great for him. I think that was probably part of the reason why he left. Like, just on top of the allegations, I do just think a lot of college coaches see the NFL as like, that's got to be so much easier on my life than to deal with recruiting and then re-recruiting and then just keeping tabs. Like, I don't know what it's like for coaches, but I just would hate that. Like, having to constantly keep tabs on your guys to make sure they're happy. Like,
I mean, it's a part of it you wouldn't necessarily have to worry or do about it. Like, of course, you have some of your immature, your dudes that's gonna do, superstars that's gonna do what they're gonna do, but they're gonna show up for work regardless.
Yep.
So it takes it to a different level. The NFL has its pros and cons with being there and everything like that versus college. But at least you got a bunch of grown men showing up to work.
Yeah, and when you get to the NFL level, you got guys. Like, whatever you want to run, you're going to have guys that can do it. The quarterback's always the tough one. Like, if you got a quarterback with a really good arm or not. But at least for the most part, like, you got guys on that 11-man on the defense or offense that whatever you want to run, they're going to have enough skills to go ahead and do it. It's just, how much better are they compared to the team across from them? Like, Josh Allen is going to be a lot different of an animal than whatever quarterback that you're going to, if you want to run a heavy run offense with Josh Allen, or with the smaller quarterback on your roster. It's going to be a tough one. But yeah, I'm intrigued at all by today. It's been a weird one with all the news from Husker Land, plugging those holes. And then, of course, the Bill Belichick news, possibly to UNC. I hate the move. I think it's a bad look for Bill Belichick.
For sure.
Do that.
I mean, there are a lot of coaching vacancies open. Like, I still think Bill is a heck of a coach. Look at what McCarthy did. McCarthy took some time off, came back, 10 wins for 3-4 solid years. This is honestly, you could say, his first bad year.
Yeah. And would Bill Belichick ever consider the Chicago Bears? I don't know if we'd want him, but
that would be interesting.
It'd be a better job than UNC. That's all I'm saying.
You have the offensive keys. You would bring in McDaniels because that's going to be his guy. McDaniels going to have the offense rolling, and you got pieces on defense. That are the Bears interested? Is the question.
I hope
if they're not, somebody fail and hit their head because the coaches that you got in your conference, why not go get the defensive GOAT? Why not?
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, we're at a point in this conference, like, we've got is it fair to say NFC North best coaches in that division overall?
This year, yes.
This year, yeah, I'm talking about solely this year. Just by what the NFC North is doing this year is unreal.
Yes. That is a fair assessment.
And the Vikings doing what they doing it with Sam Darnold. The Lions continuing their, and then of course the Packers.
What the Vikings are going to be in a pickle.
Yeah,
they're going to be in a pickle. They're in the same boat as the 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers. You're welcome. I think we got them out of their slump. We woke them up. I don't know if you. We'll wrap up on this. We'll get my pity out of the way. I don't know if you caught one of the most alarming stat lines I've seen all NFL year long. Can you guess the total offensive yards for the Bears and the 49ers at halftime?
No.
It was like 314 for the 49ers, and the Bears were at 4. So I think the 49ers might be back, is what I wanted to say. We gave them a hell of a lot of confidence, and they were just clicking on all cylinders. Brock Purdy looked awesome. Kittle looked fine. Despite the injuries, I just think that's a team where people are down on him, but when they start getting healthy again, I think the 49ers will make a push. I think they're in a tighter spot.
I mean, the clock is running out. Like,
yeah.
You can't. You're gonna have to probably win out and have to have a few things happen because their division, everything is locked up, and outside of the division leader, I don't think nobody else from the division will probably make the playoffs.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. They have a chance.
You have to win out.
Mm-hmm.
Either win out and win your division, that gets you a guaranteed in. Win out and have a few other things happen to where you can sneak in and get in there in the hunt.
We'll talk about that next. Well, we'll talk about the NFL. We are getting towards the end of the season here. We got some teams that already clinched the division. We'll talk about those teams, and we'll talk about which teams are in the hunt, which ones are trying to get in. Don't go anywhere. One more segment, Don't Punt Hour with the Morning Pierson-El.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and is currently searching for journeyman plumbers to join their team. Experience is preferred, but not required for all applicants. When you join the team at Davis Plumbing, you'll receive full benefits package with paid time off. Join a small local business doing big things in Lincoln and surrounding areas. Apply today by calling 402-525-6922 or find them on social media. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's all-new Ridge lineup. The Ridge XR, Ridge HVAC, and the Ridge Limited, all built to take on your day with a full factory cab, including heat and AC. Stop by Indian Motorcycle of Lincoln today and rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of December. Save big on their massive selection of side-by-sides, all-terrain vehicles, motorcycles, and power watercraft on end-of-the-year specials store-wide at their new 27th and I-80 location.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
On the farm from dawn till dusk, hardworking hands tend to the land, equipment, and the animals. But your hard work deserves a little relaxation too. Visit the Nebraska Ag Expo, December 10th through the 12th at Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln. See all the latest ag innovations in livestock and equipment, precision ag, drone, and AI tech, crop inputs, grain storage, and more. Take a break from the daily grind and recharge at the Nebraska Ag Expo. You deserve it. Sponsored in part by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call John Henrys at 402-435-5555 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-435-5555.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call Liberty Law Group at 877-42-LIBERTY. Advocates you need, trial attorneys you can trust. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your County Veteran Service Officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment, Don't Punt Hour. Good morning, Pierson-El, the host is always streaming in. Let's wrap up here with some NFL postseason conversations here. Let's just go through the eliminated here because there's one team that just what a sad story. So the eliminated teams in the NFL already at this point, and we know that the Browns, Giants, Jaguars, Titans, Patriots, and your Raiders all out. And the one team that I'm leaving.
Your Bears ain't too far behind, so easy with all that. Your team. All right.
I'll have you know, we still have less than 1%. We have a less than 1%. It's still probable.
Y'all are not making it. Get your reservations for Cabo ready because that's where y'all going.
Yeah, we're not making it. I mean, it's less than a 1% chance. I mean, it's probably 0.001.
And the dreams of rookie offense of the year gone. Bye. See ya. He's not even top 5.
All right, your Raiders suck too. That's enough. That's enough out of you, DPE. One team though that's even funnier. That probably feels worse than you or me. And the reason I didn't say their name yet because we might have to just eliminate it already. The New York Jets are 3-10. What a disaster season for the New York Jets. I couldn't even envision it to go this bad. What the hell's happening in New York? And is Rodgers even going to be back?
I mean, the management of that organization has gotten them to that point.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at Aaron. I mean, the management fired the coach when clearly the coach wasn't the problem.
Well, did management fire the coach or did Rodgers push for that?
Still to be we don't know.
Yeah, if it's Rodgers, I'm just saying that's a big problem because Rodgers.
But you got the owner that stepped in and just did that, caught everybody off guard. Like I don't think him and the owner are, walking in the office together.
No, I'll say this much in defense of Rodgers: the Jets' ownership sucked before he was there, so it's not all
completely.
On him. Yeah, it's definitely not all on him.
And I mean, I think their offense has done enough to win games. Now the defense hasn't been as stable as it has been when Saleh was there, but I mean, the difference between them and the Bengals started winning.
Yep. It's it's just crazy to see the Jets already. I mean, 3-10 to be eliminated already at this point. With all the pieces, it's not like they don't have good pieces. It's unfortunate that you got Devontae Adams that late in the season, but man, you got talent on that team, just could not ever put it together, and they keep losing games. They're in a lot of these, but they just can't figure out a way to pull them out. And then you got the Bengals who are on the bubble. We'll go through some of these bubble teams real quick. Not the teams like the Bears, because yes, on the bubble, they're not getting in. We'll save our breath. But the teams that are real chances of getting in here, you're looking at the Colts, Dolphins, Bengals 5-8. They're still in the mix there. And then of course you got the Rams, Falcons, and Cardinals, 6-7 Cardinals, and the 49ers. You can maybe say the Saints at 5-8, but I think they're probably there's not a really good road for them in there. 49ers is probably the Bengals is probably the biggest stretch of all those teams.
Everybody else, I don't see. The Colts with their division. No, like you're in the AFC. No, like there will be good teams that won't get in the playoffs in the AFC.
It feels like the playoffs are already kind of locked. We pretty much got a good idea on who's all going to be in there.
Pretty much.
So the way it looks right now, and this is just off the NFL site, everyone's I'm sure familiar with it if they've ever looked at the playoffs. So the spots that are already clinched that we know. So obviously you got your Chiefs,
both 1 seeds.
Yep, Chiefs, Lions, and then you got your 2s. You got your Bills and your Eagles. Teams in the hunt. These are all probably likely to get in here. You're gonna have your Steelers, Texans, Ravens, Chargers, Broncos, your Seahawks, Buccaneers, Vikings, Packers, and Commanders. And then you get to your Colts, your Rams, those teams on the bubble there.
It's going to be a fun, year of playoffs because, each side has a good 6 or 7 teams that are like they're all good.
Yeah, this playoffs is going to be fun. Yeah. There's some parity in it, like the Bills beating the Chiefs in the regular season. Is this the time that they actually managed to beat them in the playoffs, though? When it really matters, we'll find out. But it does feel like we're set up for a potential another Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl, or I'm telling you, like the Lions.
Chiefs Eagles. Oh, come on. All right.
Chiefs Lions would be the more fun one.
Eagles.
I'm not Eagles. I feel like just they're not getting talked about.
It's a lot of cracks. Like they're playing well. They're doing stuff. They got a lot of pieces, but it's a lot of stuff being pulled out, and the sand is starting to seep through. So I don't know how long it's gonna last.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. I could say the same thing about the Chiefs. I mean, the way they're winning games, unreal. We got to get out of here, though. Good morning. Appreciate the time as always. We'll do it again tomorrow. Uncut with Kyle Perry up next.